Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to the PHDJ podcast once again. This is Mike.
Hey, it's Joe.
How you doing, Joe?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
So I missed you this week. You were up in, well, I don't want to say my neck of the woods because you were 3 hours away, but you were up here.
I was further north than normal.
Yeah, you kind of hopscotched right over me.
I did.
About branding?
I did. I think I can't remember. I think you might have missed that year that I was at ARM. I did something similar. This like 50 ways to brand yourself. I shortened it for redundancy reasons to 40, and spoke to the ADJA. What is it? Adirondack / Albany chapter.
Right. Cool.
But it was really cool, man. They had maybe 15 or more members, and then they had maybe 8 or 10 other wedding professionals. So they had a photographer, venue owner. So they kind of opened their meetings up. I think some of them, like the education ones, up to the public. So I think it went really well.
Mark Van Eisen, right?
Say that one more time.
Is that Mark Van Eisen who organized that?
Yep, Mark. And man, I will say we're big stars in the Albany area, or at least the podcast is.
Listeners up there?
Yeah.
All right. Well,
that's always good to hear. You know what I mean? It's like, oh man, I listen every week, and I'm like, man, I didn't know anybody listened.
Yeah, regulars
or cared.
Yeah. No. I told you that in Atlantic City last year. I had a lot of people at the DJ Expo say they've been following and they enjoyed it. And a couple of people offered me some topics and stuff. It was good.
Man,
That's nice to hear.
Exactly. And I think, and they were like, well, do y'all have plans to keep doing it? I'm like, man, as long as we have a topic, as long as you guys listen, then we're going to keep doing it.
Yeah. Well, I think we had said we were definitely going to do it through this year's workshop, and then we were going to kind of evaluate it. So that gives us another month or so. And then after Vegas, I think we should, evaluate whether this is worth doing on a weekly basis. Did it help us fill up the workshop? Because I know that was one of our goals.
Yeah.
And we certainly have very good turnout, I think, this year. We could, still seats available if you'd like to sign up.
Absolutely.
But, we certainly have good attendance in right after Mobile Beat. So I think in that regard, it certainly has helped. Yeah,
for sure, man. Does Shay have a tail? I think it's beating the desk.
If you're hearing that black, Shay I'm putting Shay off camera here. And Shay is one of those very excitable dogs.
I was like, why are you beating the desk while you're telling me this? And then I was like, yeah.
And I'm sorry if you're watching this on video and I'm a little shiny right now. Joe literally needed to go earlier, so I literally just came in from a run and hopped on. So
yeah, if you're seeing this on video, apologies for
my forehead is normally shiny, but it's sweaty and shiny, so a little bit more than usual. So I had an idea today because we're actually recording on Valentine's Day, and it's going to drop obviously tomorrow, February 15th. So I was going to talk about Valentine's Day and kind of go through some romantic stuff, but you texted me back. You and Ainsley literally never celebrate the holiday.
This holiday, no, we have never. In 20 years, have never celebrated.
What is the? I can guess what the reasoning is. You just think it's too commercialized and made up. Is that it?
I mean, because I don't need I don't need like a special day to hang out with my wife or, there's no, she's not wanting for anything. Like if she wants something, just ask and go get it. You know what I mean? I don't need to come up with a gift, or she's never been a flowers or chocolate. She's not even really a jewelry person. Now shoes or something like that, I could see she might want, but I don't know, man.
Between your sneakers and her shoes,
it's bad. Yeah. Oh no, really, Davis, that little redhead.
I never got to peek in the closet, so I would imagine a lot of shoes and sneakers all over the place.
It's not great. It's not great. The redhead little monster. He's kind of into the shoe game as well. So it's not good.
Right. So will you do anything tonight? Will you have a special dinner? Will you do no? Okay.
I know Davis has soccer practice till 7. And then we get that Green Chef or whatever that comes, every week, the 3 dinners in a box, and then I'll be cooking that for the 4 of us.
Right.
But there's no card exchange, there's no date night. I mean, it's just I will say this: if we ever did anything, I would be like, well, let's just go today or the 12th Wait, I'm sorry, the 13th or the 15th, because I don't want to go out.
That's for sure. Yeah,
damn sure. And especially here
Friday night, and they had little flyers for their Valentine's special, and Kelly was looking at it. Not that we both have plans tonight anyway.
Sure.
And the waiter said, "Oh, we're totally booked up Wednesday night, just to let you know." Yeah. So I mean, this was pretty much a week in advance, and he was saying they had no table available, which is typical. You know, I shared a story on Facebook this morning. It's one of my favorites of all time. Have you ever met my sister? I don't know if you have.
No, I met your parents, not your sister.
She's been in the restaurant business her entire life. I mean, she graduated college, started as a hostess, and really has worked her way up. And she has managed some very cool, high-end, unique places in the city. And I will often, especially when I was dating, just to impress a woman, I would call my sister every once in a while. Hey, Robin, can I get a table tonight? And she always, Friday night, she'd hook me up. Saturday night, I called my sister one year on Valentine's Day simply to say, hey, Robin, happy Valentine's Day. And she picks up the phone and she says, I can't get your table tonight.
Not even her own brother.
Ask for that, honey.
Right.
But so that tells you that the restaurant business loves Valentine's Day.
They really do, man. And so does the card business, and so does Target.
I bought Kelly a card, $9.
Stop.
And it was one of the, you don't even think about it. I opened it. I looked at 15 different cards. This is the one I wanted.
Yeah.
I checks the back of a card to see how much. Nobody. I bring it up to the cashier, and I bought like 2 other things, and it was $20. I'm like, wait, $20? And then I looked at the receipt. It was a $9 card. So, you saved a little bit of money.
I mean, I'm telling you, Target, Ainsley said she went in there to get something, just regular weekly stuff, and it was a zoo. And everybody in their hands had, chocolates and all that nonsense. Yeah. It's nonsense, man.
All right, so we can't do a romantic, love-themed...
I just don't think I'm a romantic person, period.
Apparently not, and Ainsley is okay with that.
I think so, man. It's been 20 years, man. I don't know.
Yeah,
my pop called on Friday... Yeah, this Friday when same day y'all went to a restaurant, and he goes, me and your mom think about coming up for Valentine's Day. And I go, dude, you're late to the game. Like, if we were going to go do something, we would have needed to know that like 3 weeks ago. Like, they're going to tell us, here are the options, Dad. Do you want to eat at 4 o'clock in the afternoon or 10:30 at night? And he was like, me and your mama can't do that. I'm like, well, then don't come up.
Yeah. So I know you and I talked about a similar topic months and months ago on this podcast, but I saw a thread on DJ idea sharing that I got involved in and commented on. The question was, your nephew is getting married. Do you do it for free or do you offer him a discount?
My nephew, of course. Yeah, that's my sister's son.
Right.
Yes.
So what would you do?
Free, 100%. Free. Yeah. Right.
So I commented, I think it depends on whether you want to go as a guest or not. If you want to be there as a guest, then have one of your other DJs do the party and give it to them for free. You pay the DJ out of your pocket, and that's your quote-unquote gift. If you are the type of person that can't enjoy themselves at a wedding and you'd rather be working, then offer to work it for free. But I can't imagine nephew.
That's close.
But Joe, if you can look up the thread on because it's typical DJ idea sharing. There's 150 comments already, and I actually turned the notifications off because I kept getting notified.
Yeah.
But I would tell you the majority. And the person who asked the question also put in, and this is an important factor, but it wouldn't change my opinion. It's a prime night, he called it. So let's say a Saturday in June or Saturday in October. Does that change your opinion about gratis?
It's gratis, man. I mean, my sister's wedding was gratis. All my best friends' weddings were gratis. Even though I didn't do the weddings, all I told them was, especially because most of them were out of town, I'm like, just pay to get the guy down there. I'll take care of the DJ. Like, my best friend got married in Florida. I was like, just get him a plane ticket. He can stay at our condo that we rented. I think I even rented the gear down there because he just didn't know how to deal with that. Like,
and then now, as a business owner, do you pay your DJ in full, or do you ask him to take a little cut on the day? Do you remember your? Man,
that's been several years. No, I think I paid him his normal rate. So whatever he would have made that day, $600, $700, $800, and again, then he got a trip down to Florida, and I think Randy. He might have taken my sister's wedding on the chin out in Montana, but he got to spend a few days out there. And, again, all the travel was covered. And He had a good time. I can't remember, man. Like but I think it goes either way. I mean, I think it really just depends. You know, some people are willing to be a team player and, you know, just get me there and I'll rock the party for you. And, you know, I know this is your family, but some guys are going to want to get paid, and I don't have a problem paying them.
Me either, because for them it's their family. They're working, and you know their philosophy would be, look, if your family wasn't getting married, I would be booked on a gig that day, and getting paid. So the few times that's ever happened with me, where it's a close family member or very close friend, I've paid that DJ what he would make on that night. You know, I mean,
especially you know, guys. Like your top guys, I mean, you are kind of taking money out of your pocket if you commit them to this date and then they're not making anything.
Right.
Anyway, and I've certainly paid plenty of people out of pocket for charity events. Now, on those, especially when we're making no money, you know, your cancers and heart associations and PETA and lupus and anything else that we do. Again, you know, you've heard me speak about it before. I always try and get all 15 guys to commit to one thing a year. But when you kind of use all your chips up, you've crossed over into now I still think we should do this event, but, you know, what's it going to take to get you to go do it? Right. So that's when they kind of come back, especially if it's on like a Friday or something, like man, can you get $200 or $300? And then I'll say, man, I'll try, you know, and then normally the people are like, you know, we just budgeted nothing for it. Everything's supposed to go to the charity, and I'll be like, I got you covered, and I'll still pay the guy. So
the charity is different. I will often, I don't have a strict, you know, you have to do one a year kind of policy, but what we do is when we get those emails, we just ask the person, you know, give us a day or two, and I send that email out to the entire staff, or I shouldn't say the entire staff, anyone who was open on the night of that charity. Sure. I will send that email out, and I will just say, hey, is this something you'd like to do? Let us know. And if we get all no's, then I just say, sorry, we have no availability.
And that happens. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, exactly. It happens. And I think charities have to understand that, especially when they're looking for a freebie. I just had one yesterday where it's a Friday night in May that I'm available. So I hit her back. It's a charity that I would like to support. So I said, if you know, they always email asking us for a donation. And my response, is what can we really donate? I mean, I don't want to donate a free DJ.
No.
But
it would be like a percentage off or something.
Even our photography studio can donate a family photo session or something like that has to take place during the week, so it's, you know, it doesn't block off a night for a wedding. But for DJ, what exactly? So my response is usually, well, if instead of me donating something, how about me donating my services? Do you have a DJ? Do you have an MC? And so she's going to get back to me after she talks to the committee, so maybe I'll get that one. You know?
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, and again, think of all the people that are in your demographic, whether it's parents' age or actual bride and groom age, that are potentially going to hire you from that event. You know, and again, you're off anyway. You're doing something charitable. You're doing something that makes you feel good. You know, you're really just taking a night away from your family at that point.
Yeah, that's my point. Is there's a couple of those a year that I'll do. Kelly does a lot of work for Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Yeah, I do that one.
I donate my services for their Christmas party every year, and that's a ton of fun anyway. Because I mean, the kids are just there with their bigs, and
that's fun.
It's just audience participation song after audience. Dance I can think of, and you know, they basically dance for 90 minutes. Santa comes, gives them gifts, and it's done. So it's a fun party, but it's always a good time to be a part of. So I just want to circle back and mention one other comment that was in this thread by our friend Fox Feltman, who is who's a PHDJ grad and who looks like he's kicking ass. Is he close to you in North Carolina?
No. Oh, Fox is in New Bern. Yeah.
He's fairly close.
Yeah, 2 hours tops.
Have you seen the store that he's opening?
I only on Facebook. I know it's a Philly.
I would like to get down there and visit it. Fox he's down in North Carolina, but I guess he lived in Philly or South Jersey for a while or whatever.
He did.
He's a Philly guy, and he late last year he partnered with a friend of his, and they're opening a store called The Taste of Philadelphia. I think
Taste of Philly, I think is what it is.
And so, as much as I wasn't rooting for the Eagles in the Super Bowl, what a great coincidence, and it had to be a business boost for Fox. I mean, think about it. You're in this town in North Carolina. Some guy's opening a store about Philadelphia, and then the Eagles win the Super Bowl. That's pretty good karma.
It's huge. So
I hope he's kicking ass and doing.
But it's a restaurant, right?
Well, it's a restaurant. It would Taste of Philadelphia. It looks like they have
like a Philly cheesesteak kind of thing.
Yeah, Philly cheesesteaks. I don't know if they're making them yet. I think they're on their way to making those. In Philly, what they call water ice, I think, which is what I knew in Queens as Italian ice.
Oh yeah, I know what Italian ice is.
Just flavored ice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
man, I got to get down there and see him.
And things like that.
Fox is
so
good
anyway,
dude.
so Fox on this thread said that I think he said he would give them a 50% discount or something like that. And he said, if my nephew owned a car dealership, do you think he'd give me a car? So my first thought was, well, that's not exactly a great analogy because there's actual hard cost involved.
Correct.
But I know the flip side of that is some people would say, well, there is hard cost involved because you're losing a night. And again, going back to this gentleman's comment about it being a prime night. So if it's a prime night and you can assume that you would have been booked for, let's just throw a number out, $2,000, right? Just throw that number out. If you assume you could have been booked for $2,000 and you therefore donate that night, unless you can make that up somewhere else in your calendar, which may or may not happen, then there is, and if we had Fox on this podcast, I'm arguing his point for him.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I agree with him, but I think that's the point he would make, that there is loss involved. So how do you recoup that loss?
I agree, man. I mean, I don't think you do. At the end of the day, it's your family, man. If it's a cousin, like you start getting off this immediacy of the chain. Like I'm thinking about it. I mean, I'm just thinking about it right now. Like the closeness of my family. I only have one sister who only has one son. That's my nephew. Like that's my nephew. I'm his godfather. I mean, that's insanity for me to charge something for that.
Yeah, you and I are similar in that we have smaller families.
Right.
I have one brother who has two boys, and so when either of those two nephews someday goes to get married, I can't imagine. And like I said, I will tell Brian the same thing I said in this thread. Do you want me to DJ it, or would you like me to be a guest? And if you want me to be a guest, then one of my DJs will do it. And I won't even explain this to Brian, but I'll just say that's my gift to you and your family. And if that's a generous gift or not, it doesn't matter to me. I just couldn't imagine offering a discount. But I did think Fox's point about it was interesting, that there is hard cost. Because like I said, my first instinct, well, that's not a good analogy because there's no hard costs involved. But at the end of the, if you do 50 events a year and then this year you do 49.
Right.
And there might not be a way to make that up.
I see exactly what he's saying. I mean, it definitely is not at the end of the day, we're a service industry. It's not a product. There is no engine and parts and windshields, and there's none of that. But it is potentially lost revenue.
Right.
I just don't think I would ever look at it like that because, at the end of the day, we don't have a normal schedule. We don't have a 9-to-5 job. We at the beginning of the year, we cross our fingers and we hope that we're going to do as many, if not more shows than we did the year before, whether it's personally or through the company. But you just don't know. You know what I mean? So I don't set my clock to that. I mean, I certainly try to budget. I'm admittedly, self-admittedly a horrible person with money. I don't. I'm really glad that I've never hit the lottery or had real money, because I would be the most ignorant person you've ever seen. Everybody, you'd have a Ferrari. Everybody listening to this would have a Ferrari. I mean, it would be the most ignorant shit we've ever done.
I'd get a Ferrari. Now I'm rooting for you.
Yeah. You would have a Ferrari.
Yeah,
just
I don't even want a Ferrari. But now I get a Ferrari.
You get one.
Thanks. Now I got to pay taxes on a Ferrari.
On a Ferrari. That every time you crank it, your entire neighborhood hates you because it sounds like a jet engine. Woo!
Yeah. I would sell that thing so quick. You give
that's
me a
part of it. No, that's part of it.
Sale right on the lawn.
That's part of it. You have to keep it because every year we're gonna have a rally in the mountains and we're gonna all drive them around and have a great time.
Right. All right, so we couldn't do a whole romantic thing like this, but
I'll do the question thing. Yeah.
But let me just do one of the questions. I thought, what was your wedding song and why'd you pick it?
Yes.
You and Ainsley are married how long? I didn't mean to
hold on. No. Hold on. 14 years.
Okay. 14 years. So that takes us back to 04, 03.
03.
Okay. And the wedding.
Hold on. I'm getting confused. Hold on. I'm sorry. 03.
We can edit this.
I know. Yeah, no. I don't think she listens. Thank God. I think it's 14 years. I know the date. The date is May 31st. I'm good with this. I think it's 14 years this year. So it's 03. Yeah, correct. Okay. And so that would make it 15 years, May 31st.
Yeah. Is it going to be 15 years?
I think that's like an important one. I might need to write this down.
Yeah, you might need hard.
I need to do some research real quick. But anyway, Sade, however you say it, By Your Side. And I still love that song.
Cool song. Yeah, that is a cool song. I
still love it. I never have there's a couple things I look back on. Like we hired a really good photographer. The album still holds up. I mean, it's not today's standard by any means, but the album still holds up. And the DJ was average. He was one of mine. I flew him down to South Florida. He was kind of new to the roster.
So is Ainsley from Florida? Why did you get married in Florida?
The reason I got married in Florida is if I had done it in North Carolina, there would have been 675 people here.
Oh, you're so popular.
Nope. My parents are so popular. Oh. They are, and they would have said, well, we're going to have to invite the so-and-sos and the Barneses and the Bunnses and the Smiths and the Jackson. I mean, it would have been Maniac City. So there's this place I've been going down in Southwest Florida forever called Boca Grande, where I took the hook to the neck this year. Right. And we've just been going down there forever. So I threw it out, and I was like, what do you think if we just have a small, 75 people? You know, it's hard to get to. You have to fly to Tampa and then drive down. And I think some other places were thrown out, Nantucket or some other places I'd never been. I was like, man, come on, seriously, Boca Grande. Right. And somehow I sold her and her mom on it, and the rest is history.
So did you have a small destination wedding, or was it a big?
Yeah, it was a small destination wedding. I could probably, if I sat here 15 years later with a pen and paper, I could probably write down 70 of the 75 people. Like I remember everybody that was there. Right. So anyway,
and your own DJ was only average?
Yeah, man, he was new. I think it had even started smaller, Mike, and I was just going to kind of do, and as much as I can't believe I'm saying this, I think I was just going to iPod it or something.
No.
Yeah, I do.
Wow.
And then I think.
Did you have dancing at your wedding?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But I think it had started, Mike, like when I started thinking about it, it had started even smaller. Like, oh, there's only going to be 25, 30 people. We can do this. And then it went to 50. Then, like things do, it went to 75. And then by the time it went to 75, it was kind of late in the season. And again, it was May 31st. So I was like, oh man, I got to kind of pull in this newbie. It's just this. He doesn't work for me anymore. But it's the guy that did the Dead Baby shout out. It's the guy that did the Dead Baby shout out. But he it's just
you shared that story on the podcast.
I don't know if it's been
I know you shared it in the workshop. I think what's for the workshop.
I was about to say it's being safe for the workshop.
You want to know what the Dead Baby shout out is?
Come to the workshop.
You have to come to the workshop.
You have to pay $750.
Save that one. Don't ever tell that story.
Anyway, but he was just a good old giant redneck from West Virginia, and he was fine. And I got up there and DJ'd when I felt like it. Yeah, no. But I think he called, and to this day, he called my mom. He called my mom Rudy. Her name's Ruby, and so to this day, whenever she calls, I go, "Hey, Rudy." Like for 15 years, I've been calling her Rudy since he messed her name up. And Ainsley's dad and mom are from England. So at one point, he was making like a transition from like one genre to the other. And he goes, I can't even believe I remember this. He's like, don't worry, Tony. We got some Beatles coming up for you. Or something like that. I just like assumed that the guy, it was like racism. It was like British racism. Assume the guy likes the Beatles because he's from England. Oh God, good times. What was yours?
Good stuff. You need to figure out how long you've been married, because if it's 15 years
I know
this year,
No, I'm going to handle this. I literally just wrote this down. I got it.
Does Ainsley usually listen to these?
Never.
Kelly never listens to these.
No, she doesn't do anything. She doesn't care about the awards or
think about our wives, Joe. They are stuck with us 24/7. You think when they're not with us, they want to hear our voice?
No.
Of course. I mean, they have to listen to us gabbing nonstop.
It doesn't hurt my feelings. I'm not going to.
Yeah, it does not hurt my feelings one bit. Kelly's not in my industry, so it's not like I can say to her, hey, you might have missed a little nugget there, honey, But she could care less. So, no, I guarantee she does. So you're not going to hear an earful from Ainsley about this, but you better get on this.
I know.
This
I will.
15.
I know.
You got to do something special.
I will. I promise. What was the song? What was your song? Are you going to answer?
The song was Come Away With Me.
Norah Jones?
It was, Norah Jones was breaking when Kelly and I first started dating.
Right.
And so her first album is like one of those that we listen to all the time and everything else. And then when we were getting married, that was the no-brainer. That was going to be the song. But if you remember, we had a band, not a DJ.
Yeah.
I know some DJs are like, I can't believe you had a band. Well, yeah, we had a band because I could not, I had so many DJs, as soon as I got engaged, offered to do my wedding.
Right.
So if I had chosen one, I would have had to tell a dozen others, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
But then B, I cannot listen to a DJ and shut off my professional mind.
I know.
No matter where I am, I'm either extremely impressed and stealing and going, oh, I got to steal that mix, or I got or I'm critiquing. And I'm like, oh, I can't believe he's. So there was no way I was going to have a DJ at my wedding.
Right.
There's a local band that Kelly and I just absolutely love. When we go out, we often go to see them, Brian Kirk and the Jerks. And he has a female singer that he can, you book the band and you can add saxophones and horns and you can add a female singer. But Dominic's wife, Serena, who also works for us, and she's a beautiful singer, she does Come Away With Me. So she sang it with
wow.
And it was a beautiful, beautiful job. Yeah.
Wow.
And that was art.
That's
and it was funny because that's a song that you hear from time to time. I'm sure if you're listening to the radio station, I'm sure you hear the Sade song too.
Right.
Kelly and I, our first anniversary, we went to Iceland, and that's where we honeymooned. We're walking through a grocery store in Iceland and Come Away With Me.
Oh, wow.
Started dancing in the aisle. And just this past weekend, we were walking around Ocean Grove because it was really nice, and there was a store with music piped out of it, and so we're dancing on the streets in Ocean Grove.
Wow.
It's kind of nice every once in a while.
I hear Sade every once in a while. Like it's usually like in an elevator or something like that. But I don't know. I still think it's a great song. It holds up.
Yeah,
her music just holds up. I mean,
it does. I still play some of her stuff during cocktail hours. Some of her, like mid-tempo stuff.
Yeah.
No Ordinary Love is a beautiful one.
So good.
And, I haven't played By Your Side in a while, but I'll break that up.
So good. So good.
All right, Joe, let's put a bow on this one.
Yes, sir.
We still have 5 weeks, I think, or 4 weeks?
Not even 4 weeks. It's March 12th. So today's the 14th. This will come out on the 15th. Yeah, literally, guys, you got 1 month left to sign up. I know, Mike, I had somebody email me yesterday. I'll talk to you a little bit about that, but he's signing up. I mean, I still think we're going to get, 3 to 6 more.
Yeah, we still have some seats available, so check it out, PHDJworkshop.com. You can check out the itinerary. And remember, we haven't mentioned this for a while. It's usually just Joe and I doing the education, but this time around we have a lawyer, Jeremy Jones, who is speaking at Mobile Beat, but then doing a special presentation for us about the clauses in your contract to protect you should you ever have to take a client to court, or if they take you to court.
Vice versa,
and specifically by state. So literally, I have emailed Jeremy every state that our attendees are coming from so that he can look up the specific state law in your state. And so because things change based on North Carolina, New Jersey, Texas, wherever. So I think the education that Joe and I offer is always worth it and well put together. But this time we even have the addition of Jeremy. So one little bonus for everybody.
Yep, absolutely, guys. So we've been updating our slides. I mean, all new content, things change every year. So Mike and I have been working hard on our slides and on our seminars for the main show as well. So we will see y'all there. Again, PHDJworkshop.com. Mike, I will talk to you next week, my friend.
You got it, everybody. Have a great week.
Later, guys.